Here I am, Leon C, aka Morpheus. Now we're going to go ahead and get started. This is going to be a very different video than what I normally do, but I'm going to go ahead and produce this for, again, a couple of my viewers and emailers. Now, you'll be surprised the type of people that watch this channel and support this channel, and those who are looking forward to reading my book called 2020 America Rise or Fall. It's a hot book, many hot topics. Okay, now this is based on a group of teenagers that I had a conversation with just recently. Okay, and a few of them have emailed me these stories, and I'm going to share with you today. Now, this channel is all about empowerment, so I'm going to say something that's based on solutions, but at the same time, we must be aware of the consequences of what we are doing to ourselves in this country and what we are creating our children to be. And the fact is, a lot of us don't want to take accountability for our actions. And in many cases, we do not want to see the root of the issue because it colors us in a different light, in a different perspective. So usually a voice like myself isn't good enough. However, there are people who are willing to listen and need the knowledge and information that individuals like myself is delivering. Now, these two stories are from two separate teenage boys around the age of 18 and 17 years of age. Okay, they know who I'm talking about when they see this video. So I'm going to share this story with you. I'm going to show you, ladies, that it's not an attack on you, but it's a sign to show you exactly what happens when you live a life of entitlement, where the guy or your boy, your son specifically, is programmed by the society or you to be a certain way. Okay, and the daughter or the girl is programmed, okay, to usurp or to take or to feel as if she deserves something without work, but yet never is held accountable for her actions, because on a general basis, based on the emotions that most American women have today, and again, it's not an attack, I'm just telling you the basic facts that we all know about. Okay, I must do this for my emailers and for my brothers who requested this to be given unto you. Okay, that you must comprehend that this thing is serious and the struggle is definitely real. It's a real civil war that y'all need to wake up, because your daughters and your sons are going to deal with this dramatic catastrophe in the future, but they're actually dealing with it today. But we're just so ignorant and so self-absorbed in our corporate lifestyle and working and building, you could say, a false sense of reality. And there's something I'm going to put this in here too, and it's something I thought about. Okay. Some people say that you live and you learn. Let me give you a red pill before I get started, because some of y'all waiting on that. Let me give you this red pill, because I'm getting ready to tell you something that's going to blow your mind. Okay? I'm going to take my red pill as well. No. Listen. You learn when you live. You don't live and learn. You learn when you live. Gotcha. Go back to my previous videos. For some who have been following me this entire time, you know the track I'm on. You know what I mean about the real you and the fake you. The real you and the programmed you. Okay? A lot of you don't know the definition of life. That means what you know it to be, not what they or other people tell you it is. Okay? You learn life, or you start learning when you know what your life is. There's no such thing as you live and you learn, because a lot of us, we are not truly alive. We are truly puppets. We are truly amalgamated. We are truly programmed by the systems that have been embedded in our psyche since we were children. So those old wise tales that you heard from old people, okay, I mean people who just, they tried, they had good effort, okay, but they were almost there. They were almost conscious. They were almost aware of their third eye, okay? In this generation, this is the evolved state of being. Okay, so you got to handle the stage of what Morpheus is bringing you into, because it's a different dynamic here. Okay, so you don't know what your life is, okay, unless you know the definition of that based on its structural context and the constitution of what fortifies it to be what it is. So there's no such thing as you live and you learn, because you're not alive yet in order to learn. Do you understand? You're only being programmed the entire time. You're not learning anything. You're just being programmed to be a structural robot compared to the systems that are around you. So keep that in your mind. Once you know what life is based on your definition, based on your function, based on how you know how you are and your body, you're not constantly going back to the doctor, asking the doctor, am I sick, Massa? You're not constantly going back to the pastor talking about, Massa, who do I worship today, Massa? Okay, no. Okay, when you are at home, you are really into yourself and you know what makes you focus and makes you function within yourself. Okay, as an individual, not as a united person based on your united public, based on the united expectation. Okay, because once you start living based on your dynamic, based on you and your integers, your internal integrity, then you begin to learn. Now, I made the base work for you. Now we can continue on these bases. Now, based on a certain knowledge, these kids, now I will call them kids, but I'll say teenagers, but they're young men, okay, who is dealing with this situation, whereas we are not evolving, because again, what did I say? There's no basis. We're just going through the systems. We're going through idea and not through facts. Okay. So we don't see the far future. And when you don't see the far future, listen, when you can't see the far future, someone back here did not use logic or reason. Okay. If you're not playing, if you don't know how to play chess, okay, and you don't comprehend how to make 2 or 3 moves ahead of time to strategize against the enemy or to benefit yourself and your family, somebody who's pushing the pieces around is emotional and illogical, because logic does the math. These 2 boys went through a devastating situation. Now, this 18-year-old, his name is Paul. The other one's a 17-year-old. His name is Stephen. Okay? This is what Paul went through. He said at his graduate years in high school, okay, they were at actually he was in a lunchroom, okay, and during the lunchroom time, there was this girl who, basically she was just a typical American woman who dressed however she wanted to dress, okay, and yeah, they can do that, especially with their school uniforms. They find ways to do that, especially during recess, during lunchtime, when the teachers aren't looking. Okay, they'll take their shirt, they'll twist it up like this. You know how you girls twist it up and you put it in a ball right here and you reveal your belly button? Okay, and it's so tight and your breast is pointing out, okay, and the brown pants that I have on, which is in some of the schools as a mandatory dress code. These girls wear it like three sizes below what they can really wear. So it's really, really skin tight. And she already has a body that's filling out. Okay. So let me tell you what happened to Paul. He's in line waiting for lunch. Okay. Like everybody else, going this way in single file. No, they're not little grade school kids, but they just so happen to needed to file up at that particular time for that particular class. Okay. So he was waiting to receive his food at that particular area in that particular time. Okay. This girl had a sense of so much entitlement based on how she was raised at home, based on, listen, and let me tell you, wait a minute. I don't want to get my nose out too far, because I'm not going to say my nose, but I don't want your nose, okay, or your expectation to be out so far and I disappoint you. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, not meaning nosy, okay, meaning that your nose is open, like, okay, I'm interested, okay. Before I feed you some more knowledge, this is the headline of this video, okay? Logic, reasoning, and the blue pill guy. You got it? Logic, reasoning, and the blue pill guy. Keep that in mind. So now you got two things to keep in your mind. I mess with your brain like that. That's what I do as a teacher. Because I need you to be uplifted and be aware. Then I open up your mind to a new world. Otherwise, I wouldn't be called Morpheus. Now, so this is what happened. Because she's used to having boys, chasing her all the time, carrying her books, helping her with her computer bags, being at her locker any time of the day, doing whatever that she needs her to do. So she felt like she was invincible. Okay? No rules, no laws, just whatever she's entitled to it all, like what most American women are on a general basis. The majority. Okay? But that's what happened. While Paul was standing there, minding his own business, talking to one of his classmates, one of his brothers. Well, we all brothers and sisters, right? So I call him one of his brothers. That girl, okay, who's used to just getting her way, because she felt like she could, because it's my body, my choice, my body, my choice. She was supposed to be back here in the line. What she did was she walked all the way up to the line where Paul was. And because there was a small split there, because Paul was talking to one of his friends, which I call brother, but okay, you can say friend, your choice. Okay. And she cut him off. But she didn't just cut him. She shoved her way through. Even though there was space, she shoved her way through on purpose. Where she was this close to Paul, where his friend over here was disturbed, like, dude, you know this girl? You know her? Paul was like, no, I don't know her. Because Paul's purple pill. Paul is learning about hypergamy. He's learning about feminism. He's learning about these American women who have the potential to cause devastation, not by words, by statistical facts, if you are paying attention to the current functionality of America. When you do your research, you'll figure it out yourself. You're like, oh, okay, this is real. Yes, it's real. I told you the struggle is real. I try my best to tear myself away from my thoughts, from my thinking, and I bridge things from what's actually going on. Whereas when you do your research, you'll see it, be like, yep, right. So Paul confronts her. Paul's like, why are you cutting up in line? You know, who are you? And, you know, this is my turn. You should be back there. Oh, here she goes. I got to read the story so I make sure I get it correct. Okay. So here she goes. Oh, Paul. No, you can. You know, you can let me in. You know, you can let me in. You know, I can cut in. It's not going to hurt you. It's okay. Paul's like, no, you should be back there in the back of the line. This, you know, you got to wait like everybody else. So she gets an attitude. She feels a sense of entitlement, right? So now attention is being drawn to the both of them, and his friends sitting there like, dang, who's this girl think she is? Who she thinks she is, right? But here's how things started twisted. Remember, she's already got this balled up here. Her pants is already skin tight, right? So she said, okay, I see how it is. So she walks away for a second, and Paul's like, okay, dang, this chick she's really out of her mind, right? So she's still got an attitude. She's still blazing. You know, she's still, because she's raised from a single mother home. So she's not used to male interaction anyway. She's already looking for validation, which is why her shirt is tied up like that. And she's blossoming. So she got breasts up here. Okay. And her hips is already out there. Now check this out. So the story goes on where Paul can hear her talking about him and his brother, his friend, minding their own business, and they have nothing to do with it, but talking about them, saying, oh, you know, he ain't gonna let me in the line, and oh, who's he think he is, and oh, he got an attitude, I don't like him anyway. So she's getting irate, attention whoring, as you know what that to be, okay? Because she's used to that, right? Because sense of entitlement, right? Same thing of wearing colored hair and tattoos and walking around with these latex pants on and expect for nobody to look at you as an object. Okay, let's continue with the story. I don't want to run out of time, so I got to keep checking this clock here. Make sure I'm not, okay. Now check this out. Paul turns around and continues talking to his friend. I'm going to call him his friend, okay? And this is where things got twisted. So the lines start getting a little bit longer in the back, okay? And they started taking their sweet time. So she decides, because of her girlfriend group that she was with anyway, all of them had family problems according to Paul's story. All of them had issues according to Paul's story. And him knowing them personally, none of their fathers ever showed up in school meetings. None of their fathers never showed up at the doors. There was always just a mom there, and that was it. Okay, and most of them always dressed like as if they were 27 years old, but yet they were actually 16 and 17, mind you, okay? So as Paul turns around and talks to his friend, okay, the girl comes back. This time, she makes contact with him, not with her hands, but with her skimpy jeans, her skimpy pants, and her shirt. So now she slides in because Paul's seen her coming, and they try to close the gap, and she slides right in on purpose and slides into him, right where the front of her is right here. I mean, well, the back of her is right, not the front, but the back of her is right here. Already got curves as it is. Shirt's already hiked up a little bit, right? So now Paul's frustrated and mad, okay? Now they start getting into a verbication. Some of you say verbal confrontation. I say verbication, okay? Verbication, not verbal confrontation. Verbication, okay? Write that down in your lexicon, verbication, okay? And now the attention's on them. Now you have the teachers that was in that area. But what's wrong? Okay? This is what happened. Paul was on the verge to that day taking care of something in school that was concerning his future. Okay? It has something to do with him staying there a little longer after school. Okay? This girl pretty much didn't have nothing to do. She was just there, you know, go ahead and get this graduation, leave. Just simple stuff that normal girls and boys would normally do. Okay? But she didn't have no after school plans or programs. She wasn't trying to go there to make something out of herself. She was already made to be something. Okay? Based on the attention that she was getting from all the blue pill and people around her, because that's what she wanted. Okay? So what she did was accuse Paul of sexually touching her the wrong way to get him in trouble, because she was envious of the fact that he put her in place, that he wasn't a blue pill guy, that he did not say, okay, come on, you can cut me, you can be in front because you're sexy, because you got something that I like. Okay? So both of them ended up needing a council meeting with the principal. Okay, their parents had to show up. Okay, There was a short time investigation, very small investigation, because she admitted, and based on his friend being a witness and other people behind him, okay, she admitted that she did try to cut him a line, and she lied about him trying to sexually assault her. She admitted that she was just upset at the time. So the story goes on, as Paul says, okay, with the story of her family and her issues, stuff that she was going through, okay. It was a single parent home, okay, and not a lot of learning was going on there anyway, okay, and her mother was a heavy worker, barely even home. Just the normal 9, almost 10-hour day type of woman, where she never really had the time to stay home and to raise her daughter up the proper way, or to teach her boundaries, what she should and should not do. But the story goes on where Paul talks about he had a conversation with his dad about that girl's mother, because he ran into her mother somewhere in the past because he had to work on her car. Okay? So his dad already gave, after this situation, his dad didn't know that this was the daughter of the lady that he serviced and blah, blah. Okay? So the information breached down during this situation where she considered him to be, that she tried to lie and say he assaulted her, okay, and all the type of thing. Now, this is what happened, okay? His dad began to tell him about his mom. Now, this is why I put this email at the top. This is why I wanted to give it to you. This because this is a hot topic here, okay? His dad called her mom a classic feminist, based on not wanting a man, not wanting anybody to try to help her. She can do it all by herself. She was always consistent and busy. While she was at the shop, she acted like she knew everything about the car. Actually, she had an argument with one of the employees that was there trying to help her with the car, because she tried to claim that she knew what she was doing, or she knew about the work that needed to be done. But the mechanic, which was a male, knew more than what she did. And he was trying to tell her about what needed to be done, but she was trying to tell him otherwise. So the mechanic ended up, make a long story short, telling her, well, why don't you do it yourself? You bad. You're a woman, right? You can do this, right? You got the ability to do it. Do it. So that's where the argument started from. So eventually she's like, okay, go ahead and do the work. So his dad figured out immediately that this was one of the classic American women who want all these proceeds, these rewards, and all this so-called stuff. But the responsibility which need to be done at home, and the production of what's being seeded. Did you hear what I said? Seeded at home. What's being produced for the next generations is this daughter, okay, who does not have a feminine direction, who does not have a father there to balance her out, okay, who does not have nobody there to say, hey, yeah, you're a woman and you got a lot of good properties to yourself, but there's a law behind how you deal with people. You still have to abide by rules that is of balance between you and the person that's around you. There's still things you do and you don't do. Just because you think you're cute don't mean that you are entitled to whatever. Okay? So that's Paul's situation. And it's happening now as we speak. So that's the mindset of most of these girls. So they don't have a sense of entitlement. They don't have a sense of, they have a sense of time. They don't have a sense of taking responsibility for the actions and seeing the results of it later on or afterwards because of how they're being raised at home. Now, let's talk about Stephen's story. Now, I'm going to make a part 2 to this because I want to try to make it as small as possible, but these stories are pretty long. Stephen's story is a little different, but it goes along the same line. Okay? Let me see where my time is. Okay, look like I got a few more minutes here. Maybe at least 3 or 4 minutes, and I'm going to make another video for you. Okay? with Stephen. Stephen had a 18-year-old girlfriend. I know what y'all thinking. Oh, they're just young, 18 and 17. Like, what are they doing? They shouldn't be in a relationship. This is to teach you that the problem is starting young, not the fact that they're young. The programming of the blue pill guy versus this woman who is ransacking like an alligator, amongst prey, because she feels like she can, because she can do it without reason or without looking at the results and the damages that can occur after it. That's the lesson that I'm teaching you. It's not the fact that they're 18 and 17. It's the fact that these negative seeds are being given to the younger generation. Could you imagine what's going to happen to young men when they grow older from women like this? Okay? It's either going to be hatred for the opposite sex, or it's going to constantly be pump and dump for your daughters. That's all it's going to be. He's going to untrust. He's not going to trust them. They're going to be always on a leash. Okay? And he's going to get what he wants and just open up the door and say, get out. Because us as parents here in America, that's what we want for our daughters and our sons. That's what we want. We want our daughters to just be a pump and dump. Good job. Because where's the quality in our little girls? It's not here, nor is it right here. Now, here's the story. And I read this twice, so I don't have to keep holding this clipboard, because I don't like reading and talking and reading, but I try to be as accurate as possible. But as he says, he had a girlfriend that he spent time with during the summer. They together decided to get a summer job. Okay, they're young. That's what kids do. They hang out with each other. They experiment. And sometimes they work together at the same time. They don't do it, but they do it. Okay, it's not the corporate world. It's not like they're, in an executive position. Okay, so they have time to experiment. Okay. There was a guy that was interested in his girl. Okay. He was interested in his girlfriend, and he knew the guy who was interested in his girlfriend. Okay. One day, why Stephen wasn't there, that guy approached his girlfriend and asked her out on it was like a vacation party or something like that, since it was the summer. So he invited her out to like a pool party or something like that, basically. Okay, if you want to be simple. All right. And the story goes that he just dropped the line and said, hey, you want to go out and do this? And that's it. And he just left the scene, and there was no 2-hour, 3-hour conversation. Okay. As the story continues, she herself, okay, claimed as if she didn't want to go, that she wasn't interested in that guy. Okay. But she did it anyway. This is what her girlfriend said. Okay. Her friend said that to her boyfriend, to Stephen. That's how Stephen got this information. Okay. Girlfriend said they were actually sitting down at McDonald's somewhere. And when the guy approached him, he was just like, okay, you want to go to this place? And here I am, pool party. Boom, this time. Right. And his girlfriend said a complaint. No, I don't want to go. I don't think I want to go. I'm not interested. You know how women are. Yeah, I don't think. No, he's just a pusher. Maybe he should have came to me differently. Blah, blah, blah. Ladies and gentlemen, she went anyway. You say, why did she go? What's the whole point in going? Why? But she said she didn't want to go. When a woman complains about something on a general basis, she's going to do it anyway. You'd have to learn that lesson. I've learned it the hard way through your own research. You got to think of a woman like this. What she don't like, she's going to do it. What she likes or what it should be, she's not going to do it. Okay. It's always going to be opposite. Okay, left's going to be right, right's going to be left, and it's going to be all like this. Okay, so when she's like, oh, I don't like him, she likes him. Okay, oh, I'm not feeling that situation. Oh, she feels it. Trust me, she feels it. Okay, she's emotional about it, eyes all big and stuff like, yeah, she likes it. But yeah, she's like, I don't like that. Oh, this is just disgusting. This is just, I don't understand it. No, she does. Okay, and that proved it in this story. Okay, that Stephen is telling us. So she goes anyway. Okay. Now, according to her friend, why they were there, she tried to pretend as if she wasn't interested, okay, in the festivities, but yet she wanted to partake anyway because she wanted the proceeds and the gifts of what this guy was giving her. She shouldn't have been there anyway. Okay, and her friend was telling her, you need to be telling Steve. How come you didn't tell Steve? Steve need to know about this. You know, you should have talked to Steve before you decided to do this. If you did not want to do this, if you just wanted to go out on the trip, how come you didn't let Steve know if you wanted to be honest and loyal to Steve? There was no logic there. Because she really, listen, the reason why she didn't tell Steve that she was going to go with this other guy anyway, to go out to this pool party with other people, because she knew that Steve would have said no. So she wanted to do it anyway, and her excuse was to pretend as if she really didn't want to go, and to pretend like this guy forced her to go. Okay, that's the mind of most women. Okay, because she don't want to take responsibility. You understand? She don't want to be liable for thinking for herself, of being responsible and the initiation of it, so she has to blame it on somebody. So her excuse was, oh, he forced me to go. How can I deny him? He came into McDonald's and said, hey, I got this pool party, so how can I deny him? When back here, what I tell you, she really want to go. She said, oh, I don't think I should do that. That's a bad idea. She's really saying, I think I should do that. I think it's a really good idea. And yes, I'm going to go, and I'm going to make an excuse why I'm doing it. The story gets more uglier than that. This is why I chose this, because I know some of y'all like, what? Like, y'all really thinking right now. Good. It gets better. I'm gonna really turn y'all nose up now. Okay? You know Morpheus got something to say. I have something to say. Now listen. Steve is gonna get a kick out of this and laughing at the same time. Look. Okay. Her friend